The thing is, it's difficult with Dogpack because I do see some good nature of what he's doing, particularly earlier on. I thought, well, maybe he is trying to bring stuff forward.
Yeah, and people keep saying, well, he's not a journalist. Well, this is not a court of law. And it's like, this is Cope to explain why he's allowed to produce bad information. And bad information helps MrBeast.
It just seems like, as more time goes on, he is just this disgruntled employee that just wants to shit on MrBeast no matter what. And he's kind of riding the wave of all this hatred for MrBeast. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, all that does is give Jimmy ammunition for his response. Before I get started, I want to kind of give a rundown of where I stand on the MrBeast stuff. This is not a big topic for my channel. MrBeast stuff regularly underperforms when I talk about Boogie or Nerd City or basically any other topic. It's not been a breadwinner for me. If anything, I would make more money if I lied and I said that everything that was in these videos is great and I agree with all these talking points. It's not even bringing potential new viewers to my channel. The only time that would happen is at the end of this when everyone looks at this and goes, wow, this video really... There's about 20% of valuable information across 3 videos here, and a lot of this is garbage. That's the only time that it'll benefit me, and that might not ever come. For all I know, this is a huge waste of time on my part, and the 4th video, the 4th one, that one's gonna be a banger, chat. But Dogpack has released 3 videos up to this point, each of diminishing returns. I've offered to him to have a private or public conversation to kind of weave through what's going on. I'd prefer public, chat. I'd rather have that conversation on stream, but I'd be open to a private one because he probably can't tell me any of the information I'm looking for, and maybe he'd be more inclined to share that with me privately under the assumption that it wouldn't be, you know, distributed further from there. Because this is one of those things where 50 people are telling him something, he's not able to tell you who's telling him what, and then we're just supposed to believe that because he seems to think he has more credibility than he actually does. And all it does to the viewer is create like a disjointed, what the fuck am I looking at kind of situation. I think, just right at the top of the hour, I think the illegal lottery stuff is big, well, potentially big. I think the fact that the James Weddle stuff happened at all, while I don't really care about the whole duration of the segment, I do think that like there's questions to be asked as to why he faked so much content, and the Jake Weddle stuff had to be real, why they needed a time lapse that took place over 30 days when they could so easily fake that. Okay, sure, cool. I think that the hiring of a registered sex offender is in a completely indefensible situation for Jimmy, whether he knew or not, or didn't believe or believed in him. This is a group of people who are working with content for kids. This is a disaster. There's literally, I don't think any way he could explain that would satisfy my expectations of how MrBeast should run his operation. There are huge gaping flaws for MrBeast that are legitimate concerns. I am not defending him, and to be honest, I really don't care if you say that I am, because realistically, I'm expecting a large portion of like 13 or 14-year-olds to be jumping into the chat being like, this guy's just glazing MrBeast, because whenever you argue with Dream or MrBeast, or you argue about Carl Jacobs or something like that, you're opening up to a younger audience who's going to watch me in 3 years anyway and be like, wow, what the fuck what was I talking about back then? So the expectation is that I'm kind of going to get that, but as you'll see, I've been getting a lot more support than I was expecting on some of the things I've been arguing here, and that's not because people suddenly like me, it's because the videos have gotten worse. It has gotten the videos have the diminished in quality much faster. So this is my first initial reaction to watching some of the Dogpack stuff. Obviously, my full reaction lives on YouTube. You can watch it here. I'll probably leave a link to it in the VOD.
That he's very aggressive. I've heard him referred to as a psychopath who screams at people and hits his girlfriends.
Okay.
There's allegedly domestic violence charges that were filed against him. And I say allegedly because it turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named James Warren who assault their girlfriends, I guess. So I'm still having people look into these cases, specifically that surprise witness on YouTube.
Oh my
she's
God.
been super helpful in like behind the scenes, just submitting freedom of information requests and just helping me out a lot in general.
Why didn't you fucking find that out before you made the video? Bro, fuck this guy. Bro, fuck her. Fuck everybody. I'm done. There is absolutely no excuse to going public when you don't have the public court record situation figured out, okay? Best case scenario is you were fucking shooting from the hip and you might have landed. Worst case scenario is you fucking slandered somebody. There should never come a time where you're like, yeah, I'm not sure if the one who beat his wife and girlfriend or something is the same James Warren I keep hearing about, because, yeah, there's a bunch of James Warrens who beat their girlfriend in Texas. That is not something that should ever leave your mouth when you're covering a story of this level of severity. Okay, and when you do stuff like that, it starts to make me question everything else about you, okay? What is your research threshold that you need to reach prior to giving a statement? What information do you need in front of you that you've properly vetted? What makes you want to bring that and put that in not part 1, not part 2, part 3 of a multi-month long investigation? This is ridiculous. And I'm going to show you a few different things here. I actually have to pull up the original video. I want to show you the full context just so everybody is completely aware of exactly what context it was set in, so I'm not being accused of taking him out of it.
Secret CEO, and I say secret because, you know, they're not very open about that fact. Like, he doesn't post about it on social media. It wasn't ever attached to his LinkedIn. He's never featured or really referenced anywhere. I heard that he's very aggressive. I've heard him referred to as a psychopath who screams at people and hits his girlfriends.
Now, my understanding, because he says there is allegedly, is that he's obviously heard stories about the former CEO from many of the workers he's worked. I mean, that's obviously not up for debate. He'll go on in a second to explain about how he was offering cocaine and hookers at the employee. I think there are more than one source, okay? But I don't think that's the case for the actual court
James
thing.
Warren by name in my last video. His Instagram and Facebook got taken down, and his LinkedIn got taken down. So quick profile on James Warren. He's Jimmy's cousin and secret CEO, and I say secret because, you know, they're not very open about that fact. Like, he doesn't post about it on social media. It wasn't ever attached to his LinkedIn.
Jimmy's cousin, okay? He's tied to the family, right? So if something happened and one of those people were, it would be extremely easy in the court documents to locate where exactly this person comes from. It's someone who's related to Jimmy.
And he's never featured or really referenced anywhere. I heard that he's very aggressive. I've heard him referred to as a psychopath who screams at people and hits his girlfriends. There's allegedly domestic violence charges that were filed against him. And I say allegedly because it turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named James Warren who assault their girlfriends, I guess. So I'm still having people look into these cases, specifically that surprise witness on YouTube. She's been super helpful in, like, behind the scenes, just submitting.
Okay, I'm sorry. One more time. Just so we're all understanding the exact context that this was said.
Violence charges that were filed against him. I've heard him referred to as a psychopath who screams at people and hits his
That's a text message. That's not from the court case.
Girlfriends. There is allegedly domestic violence charges that were filed against him. And I say allegedly because it turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named James Warren who assault their girlfriends.
So he has no idea if this case is actually the same James Warren, and he references Freedom of Information Act. So if he took the time to post this when it was ready, he could have known that prior to upload.
Yes, so I'm still having people look into these cases.
He's still having people look into these cases, yet we're learning about it at 3 minutes in his 3rd MrBeast video. We are running this story without knowing anything about this.
Specifically that surprise witness.
Now we're citing a T channel. That surprise witness. She's the one researching this and filing those Freedom of Information Act requests.
It's on YouTube. She's been super helpful in, like, behind the scenes, just submitting Freedom of Information requests and just helping me out a lot in general. She's super nice, super smart. She'll be posting a lot of updates.
So he's started investigating this now. And he's promoting this other YouTuber for information related to this specific situation. She gets name dropped right after and then referenced in Freedom of Information Act.
On her channel, as she has been about the MrBeast situation.
MrBeast video caused a military operation.
James Warren also allegedly
And then we move right on to James Warren allegedly cocaine hookers, whatever. I don't care. That's obviously bad if that happened, right? It's just testimony again at the end of the day, but very well might be the case. So when YouTubers cover this, I've been watching these MrBeast videos. The empire is crumbling. I've been watching to see what people say when they get to this part of the video, because I think if you don't call this out, I think you're like a total shill. I think you're just doing this for money. You don't give a fuck about any of these people, and you're probably not someone worth watching, because this is an egregious mistake. And I'm calling it a mistake is charitable. So here's his coverage.
Anywhere. I heard that he's very aggressive. I've heard him referred to as a psychopath who screams at people and hits his girlfriends. There's allegedly domestic violence charges that were filed against him. James Warren also alleged.
So then Pegasus, million sub YouTuber, 500K almost on this channel, covers the video and then cuts out the part where Dogpack is talking about how this is probably potentially maybe not the person. And he just plays it off like there's definitely a case. This guy's morally bankrupt. I don't care about his thumbnails. I don't care about how many videos he's made. I care about the subject matter of the video. This guy is invested in making money off the MrBeast shit, and he doesn't care how much misinformation he spreads if he's willingly cutting that section out of the video to make it look better for the general population. That is brutal. That's worse, I think, than what we're going to see here. Maybe, I'm not sure. So, Dogpack promoted this YouTuber. We just saw them. This is the one. What does she have to say about this? I did have this open. Jesus, I'm brain dead. What did we have? What did we learn here about James Warren, Jimmy's fucking cousin? Okay. We have a section going over it here.
Get to it.
Very aggressive. I've heard him referred to as a psychopath who screams at people and hits his girlfriend.
Keep in mind, this is the person that Dogpack is claiming helped him with this part.
Friends. There's allegedly domestic charges that were filed against him. And I say allegedly because it turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named James Warren who assault their girlfriends, I guess. So I'm still having people look into these cases, specifically that surprise witness on YouTube. She's been super helpful in like behind the scenes, just submitting freedom of information requests and just helping me out a lot in general. She's super nice, super smart.
Now she's going to give us a bit more information on what type of vetting she did for this case.
What is Bunty King to you?
A person?
Who is Bunty King?
Nicholas DeOrio?
She'll be posting a lot of updates on her channel, as she has been about the MrBeast situation.
Like, she literally names this video the James Warren video Dogpack said to watch.
What is Bunty King to you?
A person?
Who is Bunty King?
Nicholas DeOrio?
MrBeast video caused a military operation.
James Warren also allegedly, but what's not allegedly.
That edit felt inspired by my editing. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it was me or something.
Jesus Christ. Every fucking pause on this. Never mind. Not why we're here.
So let's talk about that allegation. The one that James Warren is
She looks like she's going to stab me. I'm sorry.
alleged. And when I say alleged, what I'm talking about is Dawson has been gathering information from people. Okay. And
Dawson is obviously Dogpack.
these people are making allegations. They're alleging things. One of the things that these people are alleging, or one of these people has alleged to Dawson, is James Warren, this guy we just talked about, the secret CEO, had committed some type of domestic incident, some type of harm onto a girl that he was dating.
Now keep in mind, we keep hearing a girl that he was dating. Okay? Just
look into this. And I went into it thinking
compartmentalize that, because I'm confused.
had done that. Okay. I went into it thinking he did it, and I'm just gonna have to find the paperwork for it. I searched and searched and searched. And there was one case number I looked into. Again, I could probably make a whole video.
And she's saying she looked into one case number, okay,
on this. But suffice it to say that I do not think that the case number that is associated with this picture right here, and I told Dawson this, and that's why he said this in the video. I do not.
So now she's saying she warned Dogpack to not go forward with this.
I think that this particular case picture right here, and I told Dawson this, and that's why he said this in the video. I do not think that this particular case is the same James Warren for many reasons. Like I said, I did a few hours of research just into this case alone. I was in the property records. I was on Facebook looking people up. I was doing all kind of looking at the marriage records in the newspaper.
This person is looking through Facebook to find Jimmy's cousin. Marriage records. This person's related.
just don't think this is the same James Warren. It doesn't even appear that this James Warren is even related to this James Warren that we're talking about. And there's it's a common name, James.
I guess there's a chance that cousin is like not like related via family, but that's not how the word cousin is typically used. So then he's using the word cousin maliciously. But like here,
common name. We got 11 Jameses and Jakes just at the MrBeast company. So I don't think that that is him. So I am not prepared.
Dude,
Jakes,
what the fuck?
Just at the MrBeast company. So I don't think that that is him. So I am not.
This isn't, oh, there's a chance it's not him. This is, I don't think this is him. I won't even fucking make the allegation.
To make the allegation that he committed some type of domestic incident that has been put on the record because I've not been able to.
Bro, watch what she says and then listen to him.
It turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named very aggressive. I've heard him referred to as a psychopath who screams at people and hits his girlfriends. There's allegedly domestic violence charges that were filed against him. And I say allegedly because it turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named James Warren who assault their girlfriends, I guess. So I'm still having people look into these cases.
Tell me if I'm wrong. When I watch his video, I hear, yeah, this is more than likely him. But we don't know for a matter of fact, and I have people investigating it currently. Now, you could ask if, well, maybe he shouldn't have brought this up yet, and I agree with you. That's the implication that I get, is that this is like 90%. Okay. Then I watch the video that he sends me to, and the woman is literally saying,
it doesn't even appear that this James Warren is even related to this James Warren that we're talking about. And there's it's a common name, James, a very common name. We got 11 Jameses and Jakes just at the MrBeast company. So I don't think that that is him. So I am not prepared to make the allegation that he committed some type of domestic incident that has been put on the record because I've not been able to find that. As Dawson said, I do have a couple of requests out for different stuff, and we will.
And she corroborates that Dawson sent out, like, told her to send out requests for Freedom of Information Acts to get more information about the various other cases that we're about to learn about.
See, to me, that's not the most important thing. There's other stuff to look into.
And now she then downplays this whole section of the video to start talking about the fraud stuff that I also kind of argue really doesn't matter. It's just not as bad.
And that has to do with this big court case where someone went to prison for fraud for 10 years. So let's just hold our horses till we.
Let's just hold our horses there. Yeehaw.
Is that James Warren is the former COO of.
So she'll completely disregard. And by the way, if you're wondering, this video is reviewing it. So it's after. This is recorded after Dogpack's video, right? Is obviously created. So she's, I guess, maybe potentially even seeing some of the response and seeing what people are saying on Reddit, because Reddit did not like this. And that's probably where she gets her news. So yeah, she has the ability to come out here and correct the record. And then it makes Dogpack's video look even worse, because now it's not a case of like, oh, okay, well, I just don't know, and I'm fucking stupid, so I went public before I could vet it. Because let's say this guy is a domestic abuser or whatever. You're now opening yourself up to get fucked here. You're spreading misinformation, and now I'm questioning, like, all right, what other half-baked shit is in your videos? That's besides the point. So I put out this, and I post the clip, and I say, hey, Dogpack, remove your video. I think maybe that's a bit too much. I think the rest of the video is bad. That's why I said that. With the exception of part of that middle section, I think you should literally restart it. But I think the normal person looking at this and maybe doesn't agree with me on other portions of it would say maybe just cut that first section out of your video. I think the reasonable expectation is that he should just cut that section out. Your source can't stand by the allegations you made. This completely eviscerates your credibility. And then I followed that up by saying, that surprise witness TV said she told Dogpack this was likely not him, and the little shit ran the story anyways. Complete fucking fraud. Obviously, I was pretty fired up about this yesterday. It's one thing to be stupid and new. It's completely different things to be told that there's no proof after tons of research, and the guy ran it anyway in the video maliciously. If there's even a slight chance it's not him. As there's a slight chance it's not him. This calls into question the rest of your framing across the videos. And when you're watching this, I pretty much agree with this. I think I worded it meanly. I'm mean. I'm sorry. But like, this is a mistake you can't make. And now finding out that she warned you not to do this, and then you did it anyway. I'm asking a lot of questions here. I need to get some answers. And thankfully, Dogpack has answers for me. Okay. Now, I took them as screenshots because I didn't know when or how they'd be deleted, but I just assumed they would be at some point. When did she say she was my source? Why would my source be someone who never worked at MrBeast? The specific case that she's referring to, I got from another... Okay, just to stop him right here. when did I say she was my source? So the reference to when she'd be a source of yours was when you said,
Specifically, that surprise witness on YouTube, she's been super helpful in like behind the scenes, just submitting freedom of information requests and just helping me out a lot in general.
So that's when you made her your source. Just to be clear, when you told the audience that you have her going out, researching information and bringing it back to you, and you say other people are researching it, so that's when she becomes your source. But what he's trying to obfuscate to is this text message. James Warren is a psychopath who screams at people and hits his girlfriend. Obviously, that did not come from the girl. The implication of what he says here is, when did she say she was my source? My source... why would my source be someone who never worked at MrBeast? This specific case she's referring to I got from a journalist, and I did not include it in my video. So obviously, I think everyone agrees with this, that there are multiple people saying stuff about the guy, right? About like James Warren, right? It's completely different when you're talking about the specific cases involved as to just general allegations about this guy. It's entirely possible he beat his girlfriend. It's entirely possible he beat his mom. It's entirely possible he gave cocaine or offered to give cocaine and hookers to random employees at the job. Okay. My problem is that you went public with a story that you couldn't verify and a case that you couldn't verify. That's where I have an issue with this. So it sounds like he's trying to respond in like, to not what I'm saying. This is why I want to chat with him. I want to just have an open dialogue about it because we're talking past each other. So I think she mistakenly believes I got it from someone at MrBeast. I've heard DV claims against James from several former employees. Some claim to have witnessed it firsthand. Okay. I don't doubt that he could have hit somebody. I don't doubt that at all. I'm talking about the court case. As with anything, it's possible my sources are wrong. That's not something you want to hear, but okay. I guess that's true. People swear it's true, but people swear it's true. So I put out the claim with a disclaimer that it's not proven. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't put things in my videos because people swear to me that it's true. That's not... No. Again, you could chalk that up to him being new, but I don't think it matters. I think he's doing damage here. But he attaches this screenshot. Also, when can you look into the DV case against his ex-girlfriend? Apparently, he abused her for months before she filed charges. Is that court record? Is that public record? Where would I find it? I guess this is a new leak about somebody talking about this. And this comes on August 9th. If you're wondering where August 9th lands on the chart, it's actually, this is the James Weddle video, so this is 2. This video was on the 7th. So the section on James Warren, to my knowledge, wasn't being researched, at least the court aspect of it, prior to the video where he put out the teaser. So like he's talking about what the third video has here.
You know, hey, what's in part 2? What does he know? So I will just tell you, James, what will be in part 3, so you don't have to harass my people. It will be about serious allegations of sexual misconduct in the company.
That's obviously the LaToya situation.
Your direct involvement in covering up those crimes.
That's about MrBeast rehiring him, I guess, or moving him around.
And I'll make sure to give you full credit and plaster your face all over the screen when we talk about that. So yeah, I've gotten dozens of messages from former MrBeast employees of very serious allegations. So I just want to put a call to action at the start of this video.
So he put his teaser out, and then he gave me a screenshot, right? Where he's like, on August 9th, 2 days after that, he's begun researching now the section that would ultimately become like the introduction to his exposed video before he talks about like the main thing that he was planning on releasing. So this is just also kind of weird. Again, I don't like any of this, but I'm getting some weird vibes here. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm fucking crazy. So I responded, well, if you watch your own video, you say you started looking into these allegations, case against James Warren, and then immediately say, specifically, the surprise witness, implying that she's done the bulk of your research on that specific issue with the freedom of information requests and such. Her own video tells much the same story. There's absolutely no reason to go forward with accusing someone of having domestic violence charges filed against them without fully verifying that information. The entire nature of this stuff is public record. Does anyone disagree with this? Am I being too harsh when I read this? Because obviously his whole thing is like, well, something happened, clearly, or I guess because he's got so many people telling him. Why release a half-baked video? Why not just get that information and then put it forward? I'm not talking about allegations he hits women or offers employees coke or acts like a psychopath. I imagine people are telling you tons of things. I'm simply asking why the person that you shouted out spent days researching the same case you showed and concluded that it wasn't the same James Warren prior to running the video. Why would you include the state of North Carolina versus James Warren unless you were absolutely sure this is your guy? And then I offered again to chat with him. Okay, so now the next message is this one, and I haven't even fully read this one. I'm so confident that I'm correct here. I will read it to you. I read the first half of it, and it just sent my brain into the stratosphere. Okay, because I never mentioned the case I sent her in the vid. There are hundreds of the state of Carolina versus James Warren cases. Here are the 6 criminal court cases under the correct James Warren. So now, okay, this doesn't make any sense. Now we have the correct James Warren. Chat, this video came out on August 28th, okay? And now we have the correct James Warren on August 31st. What the fuck does that mean, chat? How does he have so wait, does that imply it's the incorrect James Warren? Like, wait, it took you like 3 more days to figure out it's our guy? Then why not just post it today? What the fuck is going on? And then she says, I never mentioned the case I sent her in my video. Okay, but that's not what she said. Can we just listen?
I do not think that this particular case is the same James Warren. For many reasons, like I said, I did a few hours of research just into this case alone. I was in the property records. I was on Facebook looking people.
So there's been like a huge misunderstanding here, or somebody's lying to me, okay? Your friend, who you shouted out, said that your research was not the same James Warren. And then when I pressed you on it, apparently the case is completely fucking different. Apparently, she never saw that case. You were just going through one of the other hundreds of James Warren cases. So if that's the case, then she's spreading misinformation, and you should talk to her immediately because she's making you look really bad. When she tells you, hey, I looked at this case, it's probably not the same guy, and then you put it in your video anyway. That seems pretty cut and dry to me. But if she's lying, then I need you to clear that up. Because I don't know what you're talking about. I never sent her that in my video. I'm getting 2 different stories from you and your own associate. That being said, here are the 6 criminal court cases. These are them. This is the real one, whatever that means, okay? They could be traffic tickets. They could be murder. I'm waiting on the Freedom of Information Act requests that will take weeks, not days. Now, again, a minute ago, when did I say that she was my source? I'm waiting on Freedom of Information requests that will take weeks.
Like, behind the scenes, just submitting Freedom of Information requests.
She is submitting the Freedom of Information requests. Therefore, Patrick, she is your source. Just to be clear, I'm only using your tweets, her video, and your video as the example. Yes, she is your source. She's looking up this information, relaying it back to you. You're clearly not doing much independent research on it, other than just listening to testimony. So yes, she is your source, just to be clear. I'm still waiting on Freedom of Information requests. That'll take weeks, not days. I agree that, and again, how many weeks? I'm sure it takes a long time. Why are we dropping it now? Why are you posting your research when it hasn't been completed? Why not just put this in video 4 after Jimmy responds? Did you have nothing else? Did you feel like you needed to pad the length of the video? Why release a half-baked segment right before supposedly Jimmy is supposed to respond to this whole situation to rush it out that says nothing? None of this makes sense to me at all whatsoever. I'm not getting it. It just seems like you're fucking this whole thing up. But whatever. I agree that the phrasing in the plug was bad. No. Doing it at all was bad. The phrasing was funny. But you're exaggerating to make a mountain out of a molehill. I don't think I am. I think this is a big deal. And a lot of other people seem to. And I feel like you're not getting away with this one. Maybe you will. Who knows? This is not making a mountain out of a molehill. You accused a guy of having fucking charges filed against him and then went, tee-hee, lol, actually I don't know, but maybe. Supposedly after you were told that it's not the guy. This is a fucking big deal. I'm not crazy here. Former employees have told me that there were DV charges filed by James's ex-girlfriend. They're my sources. Okay. They could be wrong. Now, again, I'm sorry. I'm just like, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Was it this one? I just completely forgot. The specific case she's referring to, I got from another journalist. Well, why didn't he publish it? Wait, so you got a case from another journalist, and if that case was... Why didn't the journalist post it? If it's so good, why didn't they? Is there maybe potentially a reason why they didn't go forward with releasing that? I don't. Oh God. Why not just show text if they're alleged? He just did. Apparently, if you ask him, he'll just leak shit. So, cool, I guess. But multiple former employees told me that the DV files charged by James's ex-girlfriend. They're my sources, not TSW. They could be wrong. Maybe it was a wait. No. They could be wrong. I was willing to take that at face value. If they could be wrong, then you have to wait for those freedom of information requests to come through. If there's even a percentage chance this guy wasn't charged, you look like a complete retard. Again, best case scenario, this all works out. It turns out it's like the Boogie thing. He doesn't have the cancer he told everybody he has, but he still has rectal cancer, so he could probably move on from there. Yeah, he still has cancer, guys. Like, listen, I might have gotten the whole thing wrong because somebody just told me on a whim that he had fucking charges filed against him, so I guessed a random case out of a hat. And it turns out it wasn't the right one, but there was another case. Like, that's a happy accident where you look like kind of a retard. But if he wasn't charged, you're just like a fucking complete moron who's damaging the case against MrBeast. And it's a total coin flip. This is not anything you did to make this happen. This is totally just like, if the fucking gods of government hand you the paper that you need, if you hit it all on black, okay, then your research is good. That's not how I operate, and I hopefully don't think that any of you guys watching operate that way either. This is like the casino of rape allegations. They could be wrong. Maybe it's a police call. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe they also found out the case I sent to TSW and mistakenly believed it was the same James Warren. So are you it sounds like you know it's not the guy now. It sounds like now, after 3 days after the video was made, like you're pretty sure that wasn't the guy, but whatever. Yeah, that's a conspiracy theory. That's a lot of this stuff becomes conspiracy theories. Once we don't have any actual information, we just guess. Charges don't mean conviction. I never said they do. I was just saying, here's where I'm at currently, and this person has the updates. Well, that is not okay. You're the guy. Okay, this isn't video number 1. This is not, I'm stating my research. This is not speculation. This is your video. These are your words. You could be held accountable for what you say, no matter how many times you plaster the word allegedly here and allegedly there. That's not going to stop you if Jimmy's cousin wants to take you to court. I'm sorry to tell you. I don't know what lawyer you spoke to. By the way, he says in the beginning of this video he spoke to a lawyer.
And I have a lot of other interviews and other allegations that approved with victims and lawyers, and like also, traditional media is involved.
What lawyer told you that you could go public with this and accuse him of being charged for domestic violence? Like, what lawyer told you this was a good idea? He fucking lied, dude. Your lawyer, like, bro, get another lawyer. Like, who told you this was a good idea? Charges don't mean conviction. I was just saying, here's where I'm at currently. This person will have updates. Whatever those updates are, I'm fine with. I've interacted with James firsthand, and I've heard enough testimony to form my own opinion on. Okay, this isn't my opinion time. This is like, get your fucking facts. You had your opinion when you uploaded your first video talking about your experiences and including other people's stuff in those. This is not your... You can't get called out for not doing enough research and go, well, it's just my testimony. This is crazy. That you can't fall back on that. I can always delay for more info, which you don't have any info. So yeah, you should delay and submit more requests, interview ex-girlfriends or whatever. I'd just rather open it up to the public while being... So he's Mama Maxing. This is Mama Maxing. I have nothing. I have nothing to get this guy on, James Warren, except for text messages from former employees, which probably would have carried a bit more weight than what he actually provided, right? If you just remove that section, it probably would be less bad. But you just open it up now so you can open the floodgates for people to potentially fill you with misinformation or potentially help you out. Either way, it's just you're accusing somebody of something publicly. Yes, you are accusing someone of something publicly while just plastering the word allegedly up there. You already think you know the solution, so you're just trying to fill in the blanks on showing your work to get there, and that's not how you do these stories. That is disgusting. I'm confident my video will age well, and LaKoya and James will be fired from MrBeast. Now, I feel like this is obvious to people here. So the James Warren section will not age well at all. There is no way that that section ages well. This guy could have been a triple murdering, homicidal rapist. Okay? You went public without having any of the information, shot from the hip, and then told everybody, well, I guess I could just be wrong when people ask you about it. That doesn't make your research good. That makes you lucky. That's not a section that ages well. I'm sure LaKoya and James will be fired from MrBeast. That's not getting you out of this at all whatsoever. It's confirmation bias. So these are the cases of the real. I'm still shocked that there's a real James Warren right now, 3 days after his video. But these are the real James Warren. And again, he has dates of birth for these people. Like, people are like, well, how could he not know? Or, well, how could he know? And again, the girl's saying she's going through Facebook accounts to try to see if it's the same guy. But we have like literal dates of birth here. Did he have this 3 days ago? So we have 2023, 2015, 2014, 2002, 2001, 2000. Why wouldn't you just wait to get these Information Act pamphlets out? Like, why would you just go live with this without having all this in the video? Why is this all the same date? Because these are the days he was born. Yeah, they typically keep that date of birth depending on usually that just sticks. These are not the same date though.
What is Bunty King to you?
A person?
Who is Bunty King?
So this is his story, and he's just going public with the fact that he doesn't know any of it. He has literally none of this information. He's not reliant on stories. He's not reliant on ex-girlfriends. He doesn't have to interview anybody. All he has to do is sit and wait, and then put this section in the next video, and it's a better section for it. Or it's nothing, and it just doesn't get included. I think this is insane. So I finished off by saying, I never mentioned the case I sent in the video. There are hundreds of state of North Carolina versus James Warren cases. These are the ones under the correct James Warren censored address and social security number. Could be traffic tickets, could be murder. So I said this is the exact opposite of what she says in her response video. If that's the case, it's a misunderstanding and you should probably sort that out with her. Her video says she told you the case you showed was not likely him. And just one more time.
But suffice it to say that I do not think that the case. I searched and searched and searched. I did look into this, and
I'm sorry, one more second.
These people has alleged to Dawson is James Warren, this guy we just talked about, the secret CEO, had committed some type of domestic incident, some type of harm onto a girl that he was dating. I did look into this, and I went into it thinking he had done that. Okay, I went into it thinking he did it, and I'm just gonna have to find the paperwork for it.
Okay,
I searched and searched and searched. And there was one case number I looked into. Again, I could probably make a whole video on this, but suffice it to say that I do not think that the case number that is associated with this picture right here, and I told Dawson this, and that's why he said this in the video.
So he's linking on to saying that she's looking into one specific case number, but like, that's why he said it in the video indicates that she was completely locked in the entire time. So I don't know what you're trying to sell me here. Her fucking statement contradicts your public position.
I do not think that this particular case is the same James Warren. For
this particular case.
Many reasons. Like I said, I did a few hours of research just into this case alone. I was in the property records. I was on Facebook.
Property records?
Looking
Facebook?
people up. I was doing all kind of looking at the marriage records in the newspaper. I just don't think this is the same James Warren. It doesn't even appear that this James Warren is even related to this James Warren that we're talking about. And there's a lot. It's a common name. James, a very common name. We have 11 Jameses and Jakes just at the MrBeast company. So I don't think that that is him. So I am not prepared to make the allegation that he committed some type of domestic incident that has been put on the record because I've not been able to find that. As Dawson said, I do have a couple of requests out for different stuff, and we will see.
I don't understand. There's obviously some misinformation here, or somebody's just straight up lying to me. I don't know how else do you fucking do this? How else do you view this chat? Is there any dissenting voice that thinks I'm being totally unreasonable here? Like, I'm completely shocked. Again, let's go to people who hate me. Let's hear what they have to say about it. Because somebody posted my tweet on fucking Reddit. So this has got all the screenshots. It's got my thread that we watched before. It also seems Dogpack has responded to this criticism, stating the surprise witness never had the source of those abuse charges, and that she was the one who likely got the story mixed up. Also, I don't think he said that she got it mixed up. Also, link the thread where posting more accounts from alleged MrBeast employees. For some reason, these images never appear in the video, only after people criticized him. So we've got Dogpack is being a fucking moron about this. He could have come out with all the information and evidence that, yes, he was doing some horrible shit. Instead, we got some super wannabe content cop clone with the premise of the next episode is going to be even more crazy guys, I promise. Like, it's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. Dog shit 404. Again, these people are on his side on like every other situation. Claims that he spoke to a lawyer before posting the video. Starting to think we have another Mama Mac situation where the lawyer is actually ChatGPT, because there's no way a real lawyer would have told him to say allegedly before every accusation, and that would protect him from litigation. We should all be so lucky to have enemies like Dogpack. Let's see. I'll go back to some of these threads when we run out. Fuck that surprise. Fuck that surprise shit that she doxed the sister of a woman. Okay, I don't know anything about that. I'm not reading that here. Legal Eagle did a great video about Dogpack, which included a section explaining why those illegal lotteries probably weren't illegal. Ooh, I didn't see that. We should watch that. And yet, content creators like Actman are still pumping out videos with... I thought they were illegal. Oh my god. Shit. Well, I thought there was a big chance that they probably were. That's something I need to look into. Maybe we'll watch that later. Other lawyers chimed in and said Dogpack does have a case. That's why lawyers exist. But like the substance of his argument is why you check it. I hate that Dogpack is the face of MrBeast issues because of his poor reporting is going to ruin any chance to force Jimmy to make these changes. In the meantime, here's a list of other allegations on topics Dogpack hasn't covered. So this is more stuff that didn't make it into the video, whilst that one did. MrBeast released the bots here. Still, though, Dogpack has a chance to apologize, unlike a certain philanthropist. Why wouldn't... Oh, sure, cool. What do you mean? He means Dogpack is awful at his expose stuff and risks discrediting himself and might prevent victims from getting any justice. You can't just include half-truths or unsubstantiated garbage. It shows that you don't care about the truth and you're just on some crusade, which puts all of his work into doubt. Would you trust a dishonest person about the truth of his claims? Maybe you felt like some of the stuff is valid, but perhaps you can see why many tune him out. Never mind if he ends up creating more victims by publicly accusing an innocent man of domestic abuse to his audience of millions. Perfectly put. If people keep acting like adding random innocuous bullshit to his videos isn't damaging, it's halfway through the video, I can't discern what's real or what isn't. No one will bother to care. It's literally Mama Max levels of bullshittery. He's just making up claims and saying this is the truth allegedly, as if that clears him of the lawsuit. I won't disbelieve stuff with the clear evidence because it's speculative stuff included in the same video. You can believe stuff with evidence and doubt the parts you don't know. That's not how this whole thing works. And the clear evidence stuff is like Jimmy hired a registered sex offender. I think that some of the stuff that you think is clear is probably just a lot of hearsay and testimony. But again, even some of that stuff is better than what we were seeing in the segment that we covered. This is already evident from the first and second MrBeast videos, dressing them up as boisterous, almost skit-like videos with zoomer edits and cuts for jokes, as more formats for drama farming channels and not serious exposed videos. For this one in particular, I think this is the one where he... this is my favorite part. We covered this in the actual VOD. Is this...
not given to...
By the way, I don't know. We never did find out why Jimmy was like naked in this video. I think that was just there for comedic entertainment. But in this video, he talks about how there has been like an effort to discredit Maddie Spadell and put like a disinformation campaign poisoning the well before she even has a chance to put her story out. And in the same segment, I think, he just starts playing a highlight reel of quotes from MrBeast, some of them as old as like 10 years ago, completely out of context.
It impacted how she saw herself and how she trusted men. Months of... So how
really get along with women?
Other women.
I don't really get along with women. I don't really get along with women. I don't really get along with women.
Well, women are stupid because they're inferior to men.
This guy has no idea how to make these videos. I keep in mind, his section is that people are poisoning the well.
Her wives are... clear statement, if you ask me. Now, I almost feel like there's been a campaign against Maddie Spadell to discredit her before she's even shared any information.
Let's go back 30 seconds.
Study and see if we can get it higher. An idea of a date just to like take an IQ test. And then she was like, I'm an author. And I was like, fuck yeah, good. She has a hobby. And then I just DM'd her. I was like, oh, so your book. Can I read?
I have a hard time thinking that shit like this isn't malicious. When he's like explaining exactly what's wrong with it in the context of something else. 30 seconds after he actually goes ahead and does those things. I have a really hard time seeing that this isn't just a disgruntled employee. Now, that doesn't discount everything he's sharing. I think that there is value to this middle section about Latoya, the person who worked there, who's been accused of everything. I guess he's been accused of... In this video, he gets accused of sexual harassment, sexual assault, roofing, and like raping several employees, Everything is on here because his own sources give different testimony because no one actually knows. It's like a big game of Chinese whispers and they have absolutely no idea what actually happened. I don't doubt that something happened, but I don't come away from this video knowing what it was, I guess, if that makes sense. Let's see. What else do we have here? And listen, I'll even soy out and have like a totally normal convo with him. I won't yell at him. I won't cut him off. We'll just have like a totally normal back and forth where he explains what happened. I could do that offline, online, whatever. Then I can report back to you guys depending on what that is. I don't know. I threw him a follow, so if he wants to DM me about getting on or chatting or even talking in private, let's see. No, he just said that I never mentioned the case I sent in the video, which seems to go completely the exact opposite of what she reports. So I don't really know here. I'm trying not to make a mountain out of a molehill, but like your source is giving me different information than you are. And obviously there was some misunderstanding somewhere, I guess. Maybe you should address that at some point. I still think you should cut the whole section out of your video or even take the whole video down. That's because I think most of it's bad. I think that this video exists to do a huge disservice to the LaKoya allegations. And I think the LaKoya allegations were the ones you were teasing in your previous video. All this James Warren stuff does is make that stuff, like, they'll click off before they get to that part. And if they don't, they'll be doubting you more. And then, like, I don't know why you're making the LaKoya stuff sandwiched in between these. Jake Warren was involved in fraud and domestic violence. And, like, Keemstar is mean to MrBeast's girlfriend. It's like you're afraid to make a 10-minute video. You feel like these things need to be mini documentaries. So you just pad it with completely nonsensical bullshit. This whole ending part is about how the new CEO made videos where people exercised and people often jerked off to them.
To men who masturbated to its workout videos.
Dude, I want to jerk off!
Why is this in the video with this? None of this other stuff is important. Like, why? Why are you doing this? Can somebody else? Can you just hand this off? I was joking saying that Queeman's gonna say that you should just hand it off to Mudahar. That's how bad the research is. That this is just like, you could take this part of this video, then go to Dogpack, and you could take...
Yeah, that, you know, if you have a story, you can do...
This part of the second video with like a little bit of what happened in here. Maybe like a 6-minute of this 50-minute video are probably about worth it. And then for this one, I don't know. I saw this one a while ago. When was this uploaded? July 24th. I don't remember everything that was in this one. I'm convinced that Jake Weddle wrote the comedy. Do you think that Jake Weddle edited the jokes in this video? I think that's probably it for Jimmy. I don't really... we've gone over everything else. I was just kind of talking more about me because this is what we were doing today in the drama sphere. People asked if I was going to chat with Tom. Is Tom talking about... Let me see if he wants to argue, because I know Tom's been like a Dogpack enjoyer. He's actually gotten to chat with him.
Crazy.
Hey, buddy.
Yo, what's up?
I was wondering if you wanted to talk about the fucking Dogpack stuff.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I watched the video like an hour ago or something for the first time, so I've got my thinking cap on. Do you want me to start with my...
I guess, like, what have you seen of the interactions and stuff? Like, did you see any of the back and forth I had with Dogpack? What do I did,
yeah. I saw the whole thing, yeah.
Okay.
So, like, my read on the video is basically it didn't really need to exist. I think that the James Warren stuff was really, I'd say, irresponsible is the most charitable way I could put it. The LaKoya Hill stuff was much more compelling. Like, that section of the video was, I feel like, fine for the most part. There was a lot more going on there. There was a lot more, like, corroborating statements and testimony.
Not to interrupt you, but I'm going to interrupt you anyway. Do you feel like you have a solid grasp of what he accused that guy of in that video coming away from it? And what would that be?
LaKoya Hill?
Yeah.
Sexual harassment, I would say.
Well, I think it's actually sexual assault.
Well, there is a claim about rape as far as, like, roofing. You remember that?
No, that's not even the one. So he showed 7 different people with like 6 different stories. In one, it's sexual harassment in the workplace to the guy. The other one is he raped the guy. And then the third one was he chain raping people and roofing them. But like each person, it was like Chinese whispers in the workplace. I don't actually... I think he implies sexual assault in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, to me, the biggest problem with that kind of thing, which I said when I watched the video, is like, could any of this stuff be true? Yes. Is witness testimony, like, even in court, can that be a compelling thing? Yes. But my biggest problem is, like, I don't have any direct proof. I don't know if any of these people actually know what happened or if this is just like the rumor mill, right? Like we haven't heard from a single person that like knows what happened or like saw what happened, right?
Yeah.
We've only heard from people who are claiming like, oh, I heard this. Oh, I heard this. And like obviously at a big company like MrBeast with hundreds of employees, when a rumor spreads, you know, the game of telephone can happen. You don't know where that's going to end up in the end. So I think I will say in comparison to the James Warren thing, I found the LaQuia Hill thing like a lot better. And you know, once again, I would still like to see direct evidence, but I'm slightly more willing to believe the LaQuia Hill stuff based on his background and where he comes from.
I think something happened, but I don't know necessarily if I'm willing to just believe
I agree.
Any one person in the video. I think that they probably should have fired him, and the fact that if Jimmy has like kept this guy in the company, that's pretty. He's gonna have a hard time getting around that one.
Yeah, I agree. But the James Warren stuff was very egregious, I would say. The biggest problem being like you don't have like the extensive list of sources you have for LaQuia Hill claiming that he beat his girlfriend, and on top of that, James Warren Dogpack cites charges against James Warren that have apparently been filed, and then he's unable to show a single one or prove it. And then on Twitter, he's like, well, I'm waiting for the FOIA. And it's like, well, why didn't you just wait for that before you drop the video?
Do you think that he felt pressured to post this because people were asking where it was and that maybe he made the wrong decision? Do you think that, is there a level of charitability to give him there?
Do I think he felt pressured to post it because
like the story is dying out? Nobody's like every day the views are getting less and less for it. I thought we were probably like a solid week away from people starting to move on to the next thing. I guess maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely possible.
You got to remember we're a full month out from when the first video dropped.
I think another problem I've noticed largely that I haven't really dug in on yet, but I think it might be worth digging into eventually, is like commentary coverage of this, which has been extremely.
Did you see Pegasus?
Yeah, it's been very like it's super surface level, and like on one hand they will say it's an allegation, but obviously the takeaway from the videos from the audience is going to be like everyone at MrBeast is a rapist and pedophile.
It's worse than that. Pegasus cut out the part where he said, "Well, there's a lot of people who have these cases right now." He literally cut it, so it just sounds like an allegation.
Did he?
Yeah. No, that's the most egregious one I've seen. I think it's his most recent video. You want a timestamp?
Let's see here. Which it's on the More Pegasus channel, I assume, right? The worst MrBeast allegations yet. This one.
I gotta make sure. He just pumps them out. I don't even know.
MrBeast Empire's crumbling.
Yeah, that one.
This is what timestamp? Oh, it's a 30-minute video.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. So let me see. I just found it, so I can once I have it in front of me, I can get you a timestamp. It's like the first third of the video.
The MrBeast.
The worst allegation yet? No, MrBeast Empire's crumbling is this one. All right, so you go to the timestamp 3:10. Watch the hard cut.
Okay. 3:10.
There's allegedly domestic violence charges that were arrested attached to his link. I've heard him referred to as a psychopath who screams at people and hits his girlfriends. There's allegedly domestic violence charges that were filed against him. James Warren, also allegedly an ex-drug addict.
Did you hear the hard cut?
Yeah, there was clearly a cut of content right in between there
and
when he would have talked about the cases.
That's when he says, like, there's a lot of James Warrens around there, so we're not sure if this is actually him. Yeah, so he literally hard cuts the video at the point where it would explain how the evidence isn't, like, 100%.
Right. So, like, the case here is going to be, like, if Dogpack, I'd say it's still shitty coverage, but if Dogpack is right about James Warren, and, like, let's say that he did do that, and there are charges somewhere, and then he's going to be in the W-Riz territory, but if there are no charges, he's going to have a really hard time defending that video, I think.
And
you could even maybe...
I don't think you should. Did you see the girl's video that she made about it?
Hold on. I think if there isn't proof of any of that, I think MrBeast's lawsuit, if he does file that against him, is going to have a much easier time.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could potentially call that if ultimately it's not proven that James Warren did anything, you could probably call that reckless disregard for the truth.
Oh yeah, do you know that James Warren is allegedly MrBeast's cousin?
Yeah, I have heard.
So
that.
like, if you're looking through these documents at all. Wouldn't you be able to find some name? Like, apparently they're related.
Right.
That's just insane.
I think another thing I found weird was like So Dogpack went into his old James Warren's old business partner from the real estate thing, the Hutchinson guy, that guy.
Yeah.
And like all of his misdeeds, and it was like
It had
at one
nothing to
point,
do with it.
yeah, I mean nothing to do with them, but also at one point, Dogpack was like, "Well, I don't have any definitive proof that he actually was complicit in these crimes, but I personally believe it just based on the fact that some other person that I can't talk about and doesn't have any further details right now and has no proof that you can see in this video. Like, I personally believe it because they said that he hit his dog or something."
Yeah.
He was like, "Well, what?"
You know what it reminded me of?
That's not really compelling to me, you know?
This literally reminded me of you. Do you remember when the reason you did it was for a completely different context. Do you remember your Slazo video? Where you started talking about Hyojin?
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of it, you're like, well, she's made very unverified claims against Slazo. So let's talk about her ex-roommate who said she used to drop her dog on her back. Or whatever.
Yeah, and that was like very shitty coverage, undoubtedly.
I don't think it was shitty coverage. I think you said exactly what you're going to do. This person posts unverifiable claims. So let's see how you like it. Your version of that.
I still think that's shitty coverage, and I don't like fighting fire with fire, so to speak. I regret the way that was done.
I agree with you there, but it's infinitely less bad than when this guy just does that as his regular coverage. Like, that's just how he crafted his video. Was like, as malicious as you were in that video, openly, he was just without saying anything.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I really just wish that there was more proof for all these claims, right? Like, I wish there was more evidence for all these claims. I wish there was something definitive here that we could look at. I mean, with once again, with like LaQuoya Hill, like by comparison with James Warren, it seems like it's more likely something happened there, at least from everybody saying that something happened. Like, it's more likely, but even at that rate, it's like we don't have anyone with direct knowledge of what went down or what may have happened.
You could even see what happened. You could piece it together. Someone said, hey, he'd been charged. So Dogpack had the answer in his head. So somehow I have to get from here to showing evidence that he's been charged, and potentially there could be legal stuff.
Are you talking about? He didn't say that LaQuoya Hill was charged. Right?
No. He's saying this like with the stuff he has, he's been given a bunch of information from former MrBeast employees. With LaQuoya Hill, that was a lot of valuable information, 7 different testimonies. Something happened, not sure exactly what, but I'm pretty sure something happened. With James Warren, he was given very much the same. Hey, I heard this guy's a domestic abuser. I heard this guy beats his girlfriend. Apparently, he's even been charged. He shows that text message. So he knew, okay, James Warren, MrBeast's cousin, domestic violence. I know the answer. How do I get to the... You ever, like, cheat on a test and you're like, how do I show the work?
Yes.
And he just slopped that together and just threw it out there because he already knew what the end game would be.
I did that so much in high school. It was insane. Okay.
Yeah. He's just like, I have to just fake the evidence.
Should be expunged because of the amount of cheating. During COVID, the cheating was unreal during COVID. You could find any answer for anything online. Just copy and paste that shit. They couldn't ask you to show your fucking work, okay? I'd say ChatGPT, show me my fucking work, and they'd have it. But yeah, no, I mean... Like,
did you see the T-Channel video?
You're talking about Surprise Witness.
Yeah, Surprise Witness. Did you see her video?
Yeah, so what Surprise Witness said was essentially that she couldn't find any charges against James Warren, and like that just wasn't, like...
Yeah, but she said that specific case that she warned Dogpack, it was probably not him.
Right.
And then Dogpack says she never even knew the case that was referenced in the video. So who's lying, do you think?
Well, as far as the thing is with the case referenced in the video, if you're talking about a criminal case, there's no specific criminal case referenced in Dogpack's video, actually.
No, but she says
I'm looking into it.
The screenshot he uses, I looked into that case, and I don't think it's the same James Warren. And that's the person he's shouting out as to, like, who to ask about it.
Yeah. I mean, it seems to me like Pegasus and, or not Pegasus, sorry. Dogpack and whatever her name, Surprise Witness need to get their story straight for sure. I think I will give Dogpack some charitability. Maybe I'll get shit on for this by your chat. I don't know. I don't think he is a malicious actor. I don't think he wants to lie about anyone, but I do think that his new video was particularly egregious and irresponsible. And I just think it didn't need to exist. Like, I just think. For sure. I think he should have waited, for sure. And also, I mean, there was other stuff from the end of that video where he was like, Jimmy doesn't respect women, and he had this like 10-year-old video of Jimmy saying like women aren't people, which is clearly like a joke troll video from 2018.
So it's not just that he shows a whole thing of like 10-year-old claims about women, right? It's that he says that, and the next section of his video starts with, by the way, I think there's a targeted misinformation wave being used to discredit Jimmy's ex-girlfriend. Like, 3 seconds after he played a Drake I Can Hear My Boing super compilation of how much Jimmy hates women, of clips that are taken out of context, he's like, by the way, I think a lot of people are poisoning the well and trying to shit on this person that I like.
Yeah, and it's like, but she didn't even say anything.
No, she said nothing.
And he's like, well, if you read it, you can read between the lines. And it's like, but she didn't really, all she said is that like he's not a nice guy or something and he doesn't treat women well, like, but with no evidence, with no specific claims of anything happening. Like, he says maybe she's under NDA. I mean, maybe she is, but I don't know that. But it was just like, it was so nothing, you know? It was so nothing. Like her claims from the beginning were extremely vague. And then when people questioned her on it, she was like, well, I can be vague all I want. It's like, okay, well, you can, but then I'm going to be like, well, why the fuck are you even talking, right? Yeah. Like, if you're inserting yourself into the conversation as like somebody who's like a verified source who knew Jimmy, who seemingly would have information about him, and like you're contributing to this dialogue, then you should, I think, only do it if you're gonna, you know, get the attention economy on you. You should probably only do it if you have something substantive to say, and if not, then just shut up.
You liked his second video, right? The Jake Weddle one?
Did I like it? I didn't hate it.
You're seeing the diminished returns thing too, right? Like, first video is like, okay. Second video is like, oh, what is this? Third video is like, this is too much.
Yeah, I would say we started the strongest and we've been getting worse since then. Maybe his real part 3 or his real, maybe his real originally planned part 3 about like the fake videos, or maybe his like new planned part 3 about sexual assault allegations. Maybe those will be good. I'm curious to see him. I mean, you know,
I heard the nuke was LaKoya. That's why I'm so confused on why he padded it. Like, everyone who's talking to me privately who'd have some sort of like interaction with it is that like this LaKoya thing is the big nuke, and that was what was the nuke in part 3. Now, I could be wrong. I could be getting bad info, but I'm a little hesitant.
But he's been saying that he hasn't had the new video cleared yet, like the new stuff cleared by the people involved in their legal teams, right? That's what he said. So there must be other stuff he's going to talk about, I assume, or maybe it's new people who have more allegations against LaKoya, and he's going to wait for Jimmy's response.
Yeah, one thing I found funny is he sent a screenshot that was dated when he was investigating James Warren, and the date for that was after he started promoting the third video. So like the date he started researching it, like that. I don't know why you lead with that when it's such new information that you don't have the answers to. But wait, the point that I was trying to get to is, so you're talking about how he started talking about the financial stuff and he's loosely tying it. Well, I don't know if it's about him, but I mean, it probably is, that kind of shit.
Not just financial stuff. I thought I was under the impression that the original part 3 was going to be about the original part 2 I think was going to be about faked videos. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, and that ended up becoming instead the Jake Weddle video. Okay. Yeah. But so that video is still supposed to be coming out. And then there's like the originally planned part 3, I think, that was planned after the new part 2.
Where he teased like the rape stuff.
Yeah, he teased the rape. He did a rape tease.
Earlier you said that you didn't like the part about the James Warren thing with the financial fraud guy, because at the end of the segment he's like, well, we can't, like, this is what happened to the guy he worked with, who worked with the guy who knew Jimmy, but we don't know for a matter of fact that he was involved in the fraud, which we could assume he probably wasn't, because that guy was charged and I think did time.
I think he got sentenced to 10 years.
Yeah, that guy got 10 years in prison. I'm pretty sure that he didn't get involved, or he probably.
And like, I noticed a thing that Dogpack kept hitting on was like, he was highly recommended by James Warren. He was highly recommended by James Warren to this woman who lost her entire life savings. And it's like, okay, but did James Warren know what this guy was up to? Like, did he think he was a trusted businessman? And there was other stuff in there as well that was like, this other guy that's not James Warren was accused of embezzling funds, which I think, accused is, lightly. We know that happened. But not only that, he was accused of taking a photo of himself in an AR-15 to send to his girlfriend menacingly. And it's like, is that proven? Like, do I have any reason to believe that's the case? Like, other than this
some guy
one random
said it at the water
citation?
cooler at the office, and he just ran it.
Yeah, like, once again, like, this is not the way that I feel like any commentary channel would cover allegations, quote, responsibly.
No, but the end game that I'm trying to lead you to water here is that he does this in the other videos too. I just think that people are like too lenient on him. So
he does it in other videos, but I think that with those, there was like, it would be like someone saying he faked videos, and then Dogpack would show that he faked videos, right? It would be stuff like that mostly.
Yeah, but then not the one about the fucking lake. Did you catch what he did with the lake?
So with the lake, what he did is he was like, somebody said that trash was left behind, and then he emailed the camp people, and they were like, yeah, we're not really mad about it. And he was like, but they don't deny the trash was left behind.
That's so bad, dude. Why would you even include that? Yeah, I think that MrBeast destroyed the lake. I reached out to the people who own the lake or like do the stuff at the lake, and they told me they loved working with him. So they didn't deny it. He probably destroyed the lake. That is a crazy fucking allegation to put in your video, knowing that you don't have you got a statement from them and they didn't like agree with you.
Things are so scattered with this right now as well. Like the allegations are so scattered and willy-nilly, and I feel like the public has very little understanding of what actually is going on. As far as like provable stuff. So I think once again, like the messier and sloppier this coverage gets, the easier. Like this latest video, like MrBeast is gonna have a much easier time responding to that than the other ones.
Yeah,
and responding to that, and and this is something I told Dogpack. I was like, when you put someone out there like, Jake Weddle, I think his story was ultimately, I do feel bad for Jake Weddle with the stuff that happened. I do, but when you keep posting like, he's kind of had a series of hits, right? So it's like you'll get Jake Weddle, MrBeast apologizes to him and says, "I'll give you money," right? When that kind of thing happens, it's like affirmation positively. It's like, oh well, I can kind of keep doing that, and MrBeast will keep apologizing, or he's fucked up, or all these claims are true, and it's like, well, maybe it is, but like you're gonna run into a situation where something you say is not going to be true, just statistically speaking, that's going to happen, and then you're gonna get really shit on it for it, and it's going to discredit the entire thing, and it's going to tire people out, like. Majorly.
Yeah, I think there's a really good 20-minute video in this whole thing that if you cut out, it would be like a bulletproof video.
20-minute. I'd say the first part was mostly good. There's stuff in there I care about less. There's stuff in there I care about more, but there was a lot of good stuff in that video, I think. But as we go on, it becomes less and less provable.
I think there's like maybe about 8 minutes out of the 2-second videos that I would probably include. And some of that would involve condensing. I think like the whole second video, there's some stuff about Jake Weddle, but you could probably summarize that in about 2 minutes.
The Jake Weddle thing, I think, okay, whatever the time frame, I agree it could have been condensed. And the most important thing from the second video was ultimately not Jake Weddle.
Yeah, it was the crazy fucking MrBeast hired a registered sex offender in the last 5 minutes of the video that completely changes your whole perspective on what's happening. It goes from this is like a mild video that's like, okay, whatever, to like, holy shit, this is like insane. This is like fucking insane breaking news. I don't know why that's not just like its own thing. Or with the LaKoya stuff. Like, why is LaKoya and the registered sex offender not just a back-to-back segment in a video?
Another thing I said that I got a little shit for, because people were like, oh, he's just playing the game, but I got some shit for this, but I think I was right, was Dogpack had said a few times he was going to wait until MrBeast responds to drop more stuff, right? Yeah. To drop more allegations, to drop more stuff. And I'm thinking like, okay, on one hand, I understand that from like a YouTube drama playing the game perspective. Like, you remember Hey Watch Your Mouth? He was like, I still got 3 more bullets in the tank, right?
Yeah.
Like, I understand strategically. But at the same time, if there's like workplace misconduct actively going on, I feel like exposing that as soon as possible is probably good to prevent that from happening more.
I think it's weird, but like if his argument is, I've given you all of the statements and all the situations, and I've withheld evidence of some of those things, waiting for Jimmy to lie, and then I could post more screenshots to support my initial claim. I don't think that's. But that
only works under the pretense that we know Jimmy lied.
Well, no. So it would work in the sense that like, hey, I'm giving you XYZ allegation, and I'm giving you about 75% of what I have to show for it. And then Jimmy, if he just concedes, then that's good for him. If he doesn't concede, then he has about 25% that could potentially disprove the future.
But like, there's like multiple threads here of like, one, what if what Dogpack is saying isn't true? Like, we don't know necessarily.
Well, yeah, that would just be a total loss.
And on top of that, like, okay, let's say it is true, but like he's withholding evidence that could potentially cause more action to be taken to the company, or like get people fired sooner than need to be fired, like. That also.
Well, his argument would be that everything
he
showed should lead them to be fired now, and if they don't, you're bad people. And that, like, he's operating off the pretense that everyone already agrees with him, which for the most part, outside of my little internet sector corner, seems to be the case, where until this third video, I've really seen no one challenge him.
Yeah. I mean, the third video, I haven't even seen that many people challenge him here either.
Like, he's pretty, I will say the YouTube drama subreddit that hates everything that we do seems to be pretty anti him right now.
Really? Let me
That
see
was
this,
pretty. There's 2 posts about it. There's the one that was posted recently about the girl's response video, and then the initial dog pack thread I read on stream. It was almost unanimously negative, saying that like he doesn't care about the stories that he's telling, or I don't even necessarily agree with that, but saying that like he doesn't take any of this shit seriously, and he's pumping the videos full of like rape allegations with weird jokes and stuff, and like Zoomer humor.
Right. Yeah, I do see this post about the surprise witness.
There was one more that's older.
Dogpack's new video, secret. Okay, they're saying it's shadow banned. I don't think it's shadow banned. Probably just got maybe it got age restricted or something. Who knows? Which is like that's just what happens to videos that talk about rape. I'm trying to find this other post. Okay, there is one thing I wanted to talk about with you. Okay, so Mr. T Lexify, I want to talk about this. Okay. Are you down to talk about this?
You didn't watch the new video, did you?
No, because I've been told that there's shit that you cannot watch in it.
Yes. Did you see Destiny watch it?
No. But
I gotta send you this, bro.
But is it going to have like stuff in the clip?
It's in the thumbnail. Don't look at the video.
It's in the thumbnail?
Actually, do not show YouTube drama subreddit. Fuck. Okay. Just get off the website. Get off the website. Yeah. It's in the thumbnail. Don't. Dude,
I was told there's like straight up CP in this video.
There is. Do not go near it. Watch, here's Destiny finding out in real time. If you could screen share this, that'd be sick. I don't know if you have the setup to do that.
Can I show this on stream?
Yes, Destiny covered it. He covered it. He got warned at the last second. He just reacts to it verbally.
So this is before there's like stuff. I can show. You're sure there's nothing in here?
I promise you, I wouldn't have tweeted child porn, Tom.
All right.
I promise. I give you my word.
I'll bring up this clip. I'll screen share. Let's see. All right. Can you see this?
Yes, you're good. I was more just looking for the audio.
I'm scared about what she's putting up on the stream. 1 second. Reaction to something like that.
The show is from the date that Lex, Adrian, I won first raped me.
What is she? I don't know if she's going to show. Hold on. I'm so scared about what she's putting up on the stream. 1 second.
That would be great. I know that you guys saw those hickeys on Lex's neck. You guys saw that interaction. I also have some images of the hickeys that I gave Lex, as well as myself. The next photo I'm going to show is from the date that Lex, Adrian, I won first raped me through penetration. He raped me at the Sheraton Gateway, Los Angeles, and he even confirms this himself in a Twitter DM to me.
So in the Twitter DMs, he just talks about how they first fucked. I like August 31st because that was the first day we fucked and the first day I called you. It's the same hotel we fucked in. Okay.
First raped me through penetration. He raped me at the Sheraton Gateway, Los Angeles, and he even confirms this himself in a Twitter DM to me. I'd like to add a trigger warning before showing this image because it shows a child being raped. It shows
Jesus Christ! What?
Mine and Lex's faces. In this image, you can see 19-year-old Lex, Adrian I won, sucking on my 16-year-old breasts.
Why would you put these in a video? What the fuck? It's blurred, but like, I'm pretty sure this is child porn. What are you doing?
So what do you think, Tom?
Okay.
Reaction to...
You can't watch that on stream. I don't think anyone can watch that at all. I recommend my audience not even
just not watch it on stream. I don't want to click on that video.
No, you can't because the thumbnail has it. Don't even Google it. Just stay away. This person's retarded.
What the fuck?
And the best part of that clip of Destiny watching it is she described in graphic detail exactly what it is and left nothing to, like, you could totally understand why Destiny's reacting that way because of her own words.
Okay, so you haven't watched the video, I assume.
No.
From your understanding, is there any evidence of it at all in this video that he was grooming or raping or something like that? So
this is the part that I don't get. Does anyone think that he didn't have sex with her during the 2.5-year age gap? Why did we need proof of? I thought we all just kind of knew. By the way, when she says rape, she means statutory, right? I thought that was the assumption. Like, nobody was asking for proof about this. So, like...
But, like, I don't care about a 2.5-year age
No,
gap.
I don't either, but, like, now she posted revenge porn and child porn and created more of it by editing it.
And no one can even watch it.
And distributing it. Yeah, she's distributing it on 2 platforms. Like, I don't think that she's going to get arrested, but there's a higher percentage chance that she faces some sort of legal interact. I mean, he could sue her.
Or this video just gets taken down on YouTube, off YouTube.
Yeah, but he could sue her for revenge porn now, right? If they're, like, committing a sex act and she released it to the internet?
Maybe, yeah.
This is the dumbest woman of all time.
So from the whole thing, I thought I saw that Chud had some kind of different take on the situation than I had. My take was like, I mean, Lex could have been a fucked up weird guy, but it doesn't seem like he groomed anyone. Is that his takeaway?
Well, his takeaway and Chud's position on this, I don't necessarily agree with it. He thinks there should be a line in the sand between like the high school context and people who talk online. The high school context exists for people who are that age group in school, and that being online doesn't necessarily keep you, shouldn't give you those same protections from social and societal responses.
Why?
Because, well, the reason why the high school context thing exists is because they're interacting on a daily basis physically in person, whereas like a 19-year-old interacting with a 16-year-old is by choice, typically.
I mean, yeah, but there is still the same age gap, right? 2.5 years.
No. So he's saying that it's that he doesn't agree that he says the age gap thing is contingent on physical interaction. I guess maybe I'm not doing.
So would he say that Carson had a?
I think so. I think he would.
Really?
But I don't.
That's surprising.
I kind of get where he's coming from. I don't necessarily agree with it. Because that would completely change my whole worldview on every story I've ever covered. But I see why he says that. I just don't. I'm tired of 19-year-old pedophile dating 18, 17-year-old girlfriend. You know, I'm just tired of it. I don't think that I wish there was some level in between completely innocent and child molester, but there just isn't. So
in the court of public opinion, no. I mean, the thing is, I would agree, if you're 19, talking to a 16-year-old, even if the age gap is 2.5 years, I don't think that's a good thing to do. But
I think that's all Chud wants people
either.
To acknowledge is they don't want him to say that Mr. T. Lexify is innocent and he did nothing wrong. He interacted with a fan, met them and coached them through doing the Easter egg on Zetsubo no Shima when he's 19 years old, and then he started dating the 16-year-old girl. If this happened in our social friend group, we would be like, hey, that's pretty weird. But I don't think he's a pedophile for doing so. Just the acknowledgement of this isn't a totally organic, 100% above board interaction, and that anyone who's criticizing him in any capacity is delusional. I think that's what frustrates Chud.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I think there are criticisms to make, especially, I think a decent criticism to make is the fact that he, in retaliation for, people shitting on him, he spread misinformation about the whole mini lad thing, right? With Noah supposedly inviting a pedophile, which wasn't really the case, right?
Oh, and but the thing is, that part could be just summarized as they're just lobbing. I think Lex can be kind of weird here. I think most of the weird comes from the things that he says, right? With some of the weird DDLG adjacent behavior. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I did see that. But as far as things that he actually did, I just don't think he groomed anyone.
Yeah, I clicked on J-Stock's stream, and he tried watching it on Kick, where I guess if he did watch child porn, that's a 48-hour ban or something there. It's not you don't get
no, you get put on the front page if you do that.
Yeah, you get put on, it's like swastikas on BitChute, it's the front page material. But when I got to his stream and I jumped in the call, he was paused on a timestamp of the video where he was discussing, she was discussing Mr. T. Lexify's crypto gambling habits. So the whole, he's bringing in a bunch of random unverified allegations. I think there's a whole section of the video where she starts to explain why he was pro-2mad. We're way past the actual grooming allegation.
Mr. T. Lexify is pro-2mad?
Apparently there's a whole section about, again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But there's a 2mad thing apparently in this as well.
But we can't even watch it. The thing is, I was going to have I was thinking about this because I was like, okay, well, I can't watch it on stream. I can watch it off stream, but I was like, okay, well, I don't want to look at that shit. I don't know.
No, somebody needs to make a mirror and cut out all the child porn. If there's anyone listening,
but for them to make a mirror, they have to watch it.
Yeah, I don't support their behavior, but I feel like someone's going to do it eventually. And when they make one that doesn't have the child porn, I'll review it on stream. I think that's bad. You shouldn't do that. But yeah, I'll review the mirror.
Yeah, but then I was like, okay, maybe I'll have one of my contractors look through it. Then I was like, well, I don't want to put that on them either. I wouldn't want my contractors to be exposed to that
Tom
shit.
made me look at it's a crazy exposed.
Dude, I can't do that. But I was like, because I was thinking, I was driving home yesterday from the airport, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll try to do a full, because if I have this position, Nick is this position, Chud is this other position, a lot of people online have like conflicting takes on it. Like maybe Lex isn't totally innocent. Maybe I'll do like some kind of manifesto that goes through the entire thing. You know, that like goes through it all. But now I'm like, I can't even task someone with doing that because, or I can't even do it myself because she uploaded basically like slightly censored CP.
You can pull
on.
You can pull that up.
Yeah, Smaggle sent this. Our YouTube drama has the Reagan video, and her thumbnail is the fucking image. Yeah, like I can't even look at that.
Tom got flashbanged with not Tom. Smaggle got flashbanged with child porn last night.
Great. Like what? She's posted on YouTube too. Like that video is gonna get taken down. Right?
I'm shocked that it's still up.
I guess just how many views does it have? Maybe nobody's reported it or something.
I have no idea. I can't know. This porn in the thumbnail, Tom.
I can't even look up the name Mr. T Lexify without that coming up.
Dude, wait, give it like 48 hours. I'm sure we'll be able to talk about this when YouTube takes that one down and somebody makes it, or maybe she makes a version of the video without all the porn.
Yeah,
this is so funny, dude. I'm sorry. This is beyond parody.
This is like a drama of like the 10 biggest retards in the world. Like everyone in the situation, including Lex, by the way, is retarded.
Yeah, and
like
everybody
involved is retarded.
I've seen so much of all of their content. JC Backfire, Crazy Rabbit, Noah, Lexify. You know how much zombies content that I've consumed, bro? When all of them were watching like Optic Nade Shot do like his fucking challenge videos.
Imagine when this happens to the pinball community. Okay,
it's gonna be so
a dark day for you.
It did. Famous pinball famous pinball designer who made the Ghostbusters machine had like 60,000 petabytes of porn on his computer, and he went to jail.
No, Nick, that's your favorite machine. You told me that's your favorite one.
I played.
You told me you love that machine.
I played it in. Well, it's on digital. I was streaming it the other day. I'm like, hey guys, funny story. This machine was made by a pedophile.
The pinball allegations.
Dude, the pinball allegations are out.
Dude, this shit is just. It's like. I don't know. We've passed some kind of event horizon. I feel like we had a bunch of like interesting allegation stories, and like even the MrBeast thing to start was like really good, and now we're kind of like we're going down the rabbit hole a little bit where things are just getting touchy to cover. I would say touchy to cover, to say the least. Okay.
Hey man, rape is good for business. You know, like
it is. Hey, you can't deny it. Okay. When the rape happens, and especially when the rape doesn't happen, business is booming. Okay, business is booming. For commentary channels for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I will say one point that I did think was interesting from Reagan's allegation and Lex's response was he had some conversation on Skype with a 13-year-old fan about his relationship with her, where he was like venting, I guess. I thought that was weird. He should not have done that ever, but I thought that was weird as fuck. But as far as like, there's no proof he had any like inappropriate interaction with that 13-year-old. In fact, we have like the opposite,
right? Like the 13-year-old said there was nothing sexual that occurred. It was just it's just like he has weird boundaries with minors, and that's being portrayed as like he's trying to rape every kid he talks to.
Yes, but that was then. I think there was this other thing that I saw. There was screenshots of that. I think it was the same person saying that he had talked about how he wanted that 13-year-old to be his friend and like wanted to like fly to Ireland or something to hang out with them, but there was no proof of that. It was just some person saying it. So
yeah, that's weird too.
Yeah, I mean, not if he was trying to fly to hang out with them.
Was that in
like,
Noah's video? The new Noah video?
I think it was in one of Chud's videos. I can't remember right now though.
Because I haven't seen the new Noah one yet. I was waiting to watch the Noah one when her response is there and like put them all together.
Oh no, it wasn't Noah's video. It was in there. Yes, it was.
Yeah,
in there.
I haven't seen that yet, so that's.
But like, there wasn't any proof that he had like wanted to do that or done that. It was just like a Twitter account saying it.
So he was dogpacking.
Essentially, yes. But I still think the criticism could be made that was an inappropriate interaction. But the problem is when you hear, because of like YouTube speak and like YouTube censorship around, like you can't say the word pedophile without getting your video giga raped. Like now when we say the word inappropriate interaction with a minor, everybody assumes that what we're saying is like he raped them 30 times.
I have pedophile said in like every video about this, and I green every one of them. I think that people are. I don't think you can say pedophile in the first 5 minutes of the video, but you could say like pedophile and rape without censoring it.
You can say it like maybe once in the video, but if you say it more than enough times, I think it gets picked up.
My revenue number, like my what is it called? My CPMs are fine. Everything. My videos aren't age restricted.
Then why do you think shit gets hit around topics like that? Do you think it's a fluke?
Maybe it's a high reporting thing. Maybe that's why I'm not seeing it, because the second channel stuff only does like 30, 40.
Because like on a lot of my videos when I've done like the Christian video or like the Goon Clown video, despite the fact I think in the Goon Clown when I censored every instance of the word pedophile, that video got super limited ads on it, and the reason why when I clicked it, it said it was because it was discussions around child exploitation.
I think when you're describing specific acts, that's worse than saying the word for YouTube. But like, depending on how graphic you get in what you're saying,
that could be
the word pedophile, there's probably some more nuance to it.
I think that is actually in their TOS stuff around, like, if you're saying it in passing for quote-unquote journalistic stuff, you could get green ads, but you're likely to get limited if you are, like, quote-unquote gratuitous about it, or if you describe it more in depth, or, like, the actions of the pedophile.
I did, like, the whole twitlonger, because, I don't know, I can't read these long twitlongers and, like, with a straight face, and it gets really boring. I did, like, the Lex versus ray gun allegations in, like, Carl Weezer's voice to try to get through it a little bit better. It went pretty well. Maybe that's why it didn't get hit, because it sounds like I'm like retarded.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just the MrBeast thing seems like it might be losing steam right now. I'm curious to see where it goes. You know, MrBeast said he'll respond eventually. I think he will. I don't know what the forum for that response is going to be, like the format. I don't know if it's going to be... I can't imagine him making a main channel video. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think he's going to make a MrBeast main channel video responding to the allegations. Maybe he'll do it on some other shitter channel.
Yeah, that's another thing. This whole MrBeast is going to respond. Isn't that just from Dogpack? Like, I got it on good authority. He's going to respond after video 3.
Ludwig said that, too.
Okay.
Yeah, Ludwig said that he talked to you, which I do trust Ludwig in that case because he knows MrBeast. Ludwig in his video said that MrBeast said he would respond once all of the allegations are out. So,
but the thing is, he just announced video 4 now and said he's going to release it after Jimmy's response. So, like, does that just push this further? Again, the longer Jimmy takes is the more advantage he'll have, you know?
Yes, for sure. No one ever wished they responded sooner.
In this case, though, I think he's just betting on it losing steam. Like, he's looking for, hey, if I wait this out long enough, these amateurs are going to fuck this story up, and then it's going to be really easy for me to respond. And that's part of my frustration, because, again, he hired a registered sex offender.
Look at where we are. I think that's happening.
How would you angle that? How would you angle hired a registered sex offender? Oh, you didn't believe him? So you brought in a registered sex offender, flipped a coin for kids' content?
You would probably have to try to make the case that you didn't actually know he was a registered sex offender.
How could
That's
you?
probably the
yeah,
only
but then
case
how
you
could you not know? Where are the background checks to the point where you wouldn't find out he's on the sex offender?
What he would have to say is like, well, this person did the background check and they're now fired. I didn't do the background checks, or at that point in time, we weren't doing background checks for people. It was more amateur production. Like, there's multiple avenues you can take to like claim that you didn't know, right? I think that's the strongest thing, because if he admits that he knew, he's fucked, right?
That's why the LaCoya stuff is so much worse, because they're claiming that he rehired someone who sexually harassed or even assaulted someone in the workplace, and that they just
once again, you're going to need
around the company. So if you can try to prove those two in like succinct fashion, like, hey, they hired a registered sex offender, and they also knowingly moved this guy around the company to keep him employed here, I think you have a really good case to ruin MrBeast.
So Curry says, wasn't it confirmed that RSO told Jimmy and his mom in person? Well, it was told. Jake the Viking said that. So,
yeah, and I don't know how much you can take his word to the bank.
The thing is, I personally think that probably is the case based on what he said, because it was so specific. But like, Jake the Viking's credibility in the public eye has already been destroyed because of his own actions. So like, what?
Everything that happened to Jake the Viking can still happen to Dogpack, and that's why he's got to be careful.
Well, maybe not to the same level, but I get what you're saying. He could be discredited, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm curious how it's gonna go. Looking forward to it, obviously. But so far this whole saga has been like kind of a clusterfuck past a certain point. But hey, you know, I still like Dogpack. I think he is trying to do the right thing. I do wish him the best, but some of the stuff he's been doing in the latest video especially has been like, I don't know how that's going to go. I've seen this happen before, you know.
I know my first video. I know my second video. You know your first video and second video. It's not easy to show up and get 100,000 concurrent people watching your video premiere at that early stage of your career.
He's at the highest, like, echelon possible he could be, like 0 to 60. Like, your first, like, big drama was Nerd City, right?
Yeah.
And that seems crazy. That seems crazy. He's going MrBeast, 300 million subscribers, the biggest, most reputable, is that the word? I don't know, like most well-known YouTuber of all time. Like he's up against a big. It's David versus Goliath, truly.
Yep.
You know,
And I think that worked up until that third video. That was an excuse that I was willing to like consider up until that third video. Hearing that the person that he's citing as a source, who's looking up these Freedom of Information Acts and stuff like that, said that she warned him this was probably not the guy, and then he threw it in the video anyway. That's where I start to think, okay, maybe this isn't just him, or maybe it's a case of both, where he's kind of got the headlights in his eyes. But this starts to feel a little bit more like a disgruntled ex-employee than it did previously.
Yeah, but once again, you know, maybe he was completely right, and maybe he'll be proven true in time, and
but
he'll
even
be
if
the
he's
base martyr.
completely right, it's not right to go forward with that without having any of that stuff.
I agree with you, but I think the way that the public sees it going forward, because right now we're talking about it, Pegasus is not talking about it. Pegasus doesn't give a shit, because what Pegasus does, in essence, is he repeats what Dogpack says, and he's like, well, that's crazy, right? For a channel like that to criticize Dogpack negatively, he needs to have been wrong.
Yeah.
He needs to have been wrong, not just in the way he covers it, but definitively in like the result of the allegation.
And I know you know what I mean, and it's like I see him being wrong as his public admission that at this point in time, 3 days after his video, he does not know. That's where I see it as wrong. The public admission of like,
I agree, but that's not how. That's not how the.
No idea.
But we're like allegations coverage spurgs.
This
right?
is like,
we're
this
really...
is king of nothing argument. This is king of nothing research that we're seeing.
I agree. But like once again, like that's like me, that's you, as like people who like look at allegations a lot and like try to do our best to like figure out what's true and what's not true. That the average person is not involved, like is not looking at that. Like just look at how quickly allegations flip. Like look with Quite. Everybody on Twitter with no evidence called him a rapist for weeks before he dropped his video. They immediately flipped. These are not quote unquote media literate people, right? These are people who do no critical thinking. It's just like one person says one thing, the next person says the next thing, and they flip on a dime. That's like how the public works.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you. I think from a public perspective, you're 100% right.
Yeah. And like we don't control public narrative. Not that we should. We don't control it.
No, but we do. We do control public narrative, because if Pegasus released a video criticizing Dogpack, that would have been the narrative. That would have like
you and I have an influence on it, but Pegasus is the guy right now.
Yeah, I'm saying, but if Pegasus shows that, points that out, then that enters the subject matter. Like if he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do it. No, and I think and I argue it's because he's morally bankrupt, and that's why I don't like Pegasus. But if he brought that up in that video and said, "Hey, this is probably pretty irresponsible to do," then it wouldn't necessarily take the right or wrong stance. It would just be part of the discussion. And that's why I think these guys are disgusting creatures.
It will be part of the discussion, but I think what would also happen is because he's built up such an audience on the More Pegasus channel of shitting on MrBeast, if he countersignals the allegations at all at this point, imagine the amount of shit he's going to get. People are going to say he's defending him.
That's why I think he's weak, and I think he's pathetic, because he's literally not providing any sort of news. He's just like a mouthpiece at this point.
I agree. But I'm just outlining, like, you know.
No, I know. You're giving why he's not going to do it, and I'm telling you why I don't respect him because of it. But I think we agree in general.
I agree, yeah, completely.
Like, and that guy was like, and remember, he was like talking about he was there for the Slazo stuff, and he really gave a shit about that story back then. I miss that guy, you know? I miss that guy who really just wanted to help Slazo back then.
I think the thing you'll learn and realize is that the majority of people making commentary videos don't give a fuck, and it's just like, at the very least, like, you know, kind of somewhat reckless disregard for whatever the truth might be, as in like, and I don't use this in a legal sense, I just mean it in the sense that like, it doesn't really matter. They're here to get their bag,
I think those people should be audited and weaned out. I think that like,
I agree.
Again, we've seen so many of these this year. The whole like the Mama Max thing was disgusting. I think, and percentage of my audience would highly agree.
To be clear, Pegasus is not on that level.
No, I know, but there's levels to this game, right? And he's showing those signs now that he's just completely morally bankrupt, right? I think that needs to be checked now before it gets to that point, because things like Mama Max should never be allowed to happen again, where people just kind of glaze him because, well, he's helping children, therefore we can kind of just look past it, to the point where he gets to such a high level that he's taking on like a 5-person
But the problem you have with that is like, so there were a lot of cases prior to the Mama Max blow up of all that stuff that like would have indicated that was the case, but people don't see it until the big one, right? So that's how it works. Like, there's criticisms made, there's allegations made of like, you know, doing misconduct with these situations and like not reporting it properly, but it doesn't really matter until the one that everybody agrees like walk off, right? That's when it matters.
Yep, and I'm just trying to contribute positively to point those things out a little bit earlier. I don't think
You're trying to be
the
you're trying to be the I told you so, which is base, but
not even I told you so. I'm trying to be the warning. Hey, this is pretty weird. Just keep an eye out for this. Not saying this guy needs to lose all of his income and get fucking destroyed, but I do think that when you censor stuff like that to try to push a specific narrative that's not actually existing in the video to make the video look more presentable to the audience that you're pandering to, I find that gross. And I think that other people should look into that. I think that, like, again, I bring back King of Nothing as a perfect example of this, where his Ethan Klein video is like, well, everyone doesn't like Ethan Klein, so this gives me a reason to lie. This gives me a reason to fabricate certain things and to take things wildly out of context because, well, I mean, at the end of the day, people just want to shit on Ethan Klein, so why not? And I think that kind of research kind of lessens what you and I do. And I think that what Pegasus does lessens what we all do. And when people like Vosh or those fucking bad faith actors come out and call us the bad faith actors, people like Pegasus prove them right.
It reflects negatively on the genre.
Yeah, I'm gonna get hit for this. You're gonna get hit for this, and we didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, but that's play of the game, I guess. Unfortunately, you know, you're lumped in. But I think criticizing people like that, I think, you know, criticizing bad actors within the
and that's all we do, by the way, is
unquote,
criticize people.
is good.
You know. So I'm not going to just keep my mouth shut because like a bunch of people are trying to make their money.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think that's the definition of based. Yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, thanks for having a convo. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, that was basically it. You have a good stream, buddy.
You too. Take it easy.
Peace, peace.